Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good morning to our lecturer, Puan Rosdalila Binti Abdul Ghani. So today we would like to do a talk show or forum about our topic, which is what happened to Vision 2020. So before we start the talk show, I'm as a moderator would like to introduce myself. Okay, my name is Farrah SHUHADA Binti KHIRHAM C1980108. Before we get started to our discussion, I would like to introduce to you guys about what the truly definition of Vision 2020. Vision 2020 is a global initiative that aims to eliminate avoidable blindness of Vision 2020 on by the year 2020. Vision 2020 is also a partnership that provides guidance, technical and resource support to countries that have formally adopted its agenda. So I would like to start our discussion with our first guest, which is Cik Fatin Farrah Syafina Binti Suberi. So Cik Fatin Farrah Syafina, I would like to ask you, what is the cause of Malaysia's vision in 2020 is quite difficult to achieve, and what is the big problem that government have to face to achieve this vision?
Thank you to me Farah for inviting me to talk in this forum. So back to the topic, there are some reasons why Malaysian Vision 2020 is quite difficult to achieve. Among the important causes that influence adjustment of Vision 2020 is extraordinary disasters. People are aware that 2020 is a challenging year for us to this country. The disasters faced by the whole country, especially Malaysia, is COVID-19. This COVID-19 has brought great changes to the Malaysian economy. As we all know that the spread of the pandemic has affected the sector of the Malaysian economy. Recently, we can see that the air transport sector is affected as airlines are forced to limit overseas flight operation. In addition, the tourism sector was also affected by the restriction on the entry of foreign tourists and control of movement. Not only that, the automobile and face mask manufacturing sector was also affected by due to lack of material. Here we can also see that mass layoff have had a profound impact on the unemployment rate in Malaysia. Secondly, wrong strategies and policies. These wrong strategies and policies has made our Vision 2020 difficult for Malaysia to achieve. It can be concluded here that the previous government was seen to be towards giving money to the people rather than create initiative. Such initiative can provide an opportunity for the community to find something so that do not depend on government assistance. For example, giving a high income to employers in such a way depending on government assistance have caused high poverty levels. This is because society reaches something not from its own effort, but through receive money from government assistance. Therefore, this situation indirectly caused the people to face financial problems. As a result of this problem, made it difficult for Malaysia to produce a developed and scientific society in outlined by the government in Vision 2020. The third reason is corruption. In Malaysia, the problem of corruption among the government administrative machinery is often published in the mass media, whether electronic media or print media. For example, cases mention of cases and corruption cases. Corruption problem directly and indirectly will have an impact on the political economy and social system in Malaysia. These corruption cases, the authority of the government to be tarnished because the government is labelled as a corrupted government. Not only that, the government governance system will be disrupted because without corrupted government, administrative activities will be slow. This situation has made the Vision 2020 difficult for Malaysia to achieve. Let's see the big problem government have to face to achieve this vision is racial unity in Malaysia. Malaysia is a country developed through racial integration and unity. For example, the Malays only buy gold in short honor by the Malays because they want to raise the economy of the Malays. Not only the Malays, but also occur in almost all race to do so. Today, we can see that some parties often elevate the success of their own race and like to bring down other race in order to put the race at highest levels. So the problems that occur make it difficult for Malaysian to produce a united society as outlined by the government for the Vision 2020.
Thank you for Cik Fatin, Farrah, Syafina for your good response. So we go to the next question, and I would like to ask for our second guest, which is now Malaysian government can afford the vision of 2020. So why do you think the things happen?
Assalamualaikum and hi. First at all, I want to thank to me Farah because give me the opportunity on this talk show, and I make a wonderful friend here. Okay, let's come back to the topic which you asked me, which is why I think that Malaysian government can achieve Vision 2020. Okay, I think we can afford this Vision 2020 because political exchange. As we know that our country have changed a lot political before this, from UMNO changed to Pakatan Harapan, and now Pakatan Harapan changed to PPBN, which is Parti Persatu Pribumi, and this will disrupt our economy because of this political exchange if keep changing and changing. Okay, for example, fuel price going rise and raw material price also increase, such as vegetable, fish, and other. Okay. Beside that, it will also give some impact to the society because of up and down prices. Second, this probably because of COVID-19. During this pandemic, our government using a lot of money to help society who had financial problems. Okay, I think this vision 2020 cannot be achieved because government already spent a lot of money to help and rescue the victim of COVID-19. Besides that, nowadays many people lost their jobs and need to find a new job to accommodate their daily life to keep them survive. Third, why Vision 2020 cannot be achieved because of regime. Okay, this happen when a country have a lot of political party, such as our country, which is Malaysian. Okay, as we know that Malaysian have a lot of party political, which is UMNO, PAS, Pakatan Harapan, and the latest one I think Parti Pribumi Bersatu. Okay, it will make people to admire with their own party politicals. They do not want to give a cooperation with other party political, or they will quarrel with other each other between their party politicals. As for example, they only want the same party political to work as a team. For example, I give one station. This happened at my village when have one ceremony that have a different party political, which is wedding ceremony, which is the honor, which is in party political UMNO, and then some, for example, me don't want to go at the ceremony because they had a different party political. They do not want me, different party political, come at the wedding ceremony because I have different party political. Therefore, they do not like to associate with different party because like what I say, they do not give me come their wedding ceremony. And then I think this is also one of the reason why Vision 2020 cannot be achieved. For this is because Malaysians do not have a good technology to create or to produce a product. It will prevent our country from developing due the government need to buy from the overseas. It will cause a lot of investment to our country, so it become bad disadvantage to our country. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your response, our second guest. So I would like to ask more question to the next guest. The next question that I would like to ask for our next guest is, what will happen to our economic development if we fail to achieve the vision of 2020?
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone, my name is HUSNA and thanks to Ms. SHUHADA for the question. What will happen to our economy development if the vision 2020 fail to be achieved? If the vision of 2020 fail, then the country economy will also decline. Vision 2020 is a vision where our economy will be more developed in terms of economy, infrastructure, technologies, and so on. However, when the desired progress, but the opposite occurs when the COVID-19 pandemic spread all the world and include Malaysia. The country economy will decline and will cause the country to lag behind. This will cause the national currency will also fall and will cause national debt will not be paid. The percent of pupil poverty also increase because when the economy decline, all goods become expensive and the people will not be able to meet the needs and the cost of living become high. That's all from me. And thank you.
Thank you for your good explanation. So we move to the last question, and I would like to ask to our last guest, which is, can you tell us about what is the best way to be taken by the government to replace the vision of 2020, so our country could be successful and more strategic in the future?
Thank you to Ms. Farrah for the question. In my opinion about unsuccessful Vision 2020 is it's all about previous governments employed did the wrong strategy for the past 15 years. And that's what Tun Dr. Mahathir said. Vision 2020 is not a thing that we could just achieve it in just like next year. It should have a strategic plan and it can take more than a decade. Before we think about what to replace for the Vision 2020, we should see in the perspective of what make it unachieved and we need to fix it first. Even we are already past the year 2020, we should learn from our mistakes before we changing our future. I know all of us has experience under the rule of government by our former Prime Minister Najib Razak. In his era, National Transformation 2050, which is TN50, has been created to replace 2020 vision. There are some of perception why this happened. It's because of the political difference between Tun M and Najib. Najib announced TN50 during his budget 2017 speech in Parliament on October 2011. He called it a new 30-year transformation plan to set a new vision for the nation. But after all, there is nothing happened because of political problem and COVID pandemic around the world. We have been through the year 2020 and there is no flying car like we dreamed before. We talk about Malaysia in the year 2020. From my perspective, there is no way to replace the Vision 2020. Why? It's because majority of Malaysian communities still got low standard in academic and moral just because of their close-minded. We fail from the day one because the principles and the 9 challenge of 2020 vision were never fully understood by the leaders who championed them. If they had understood, then the task of implementing them is possible. Finally, the challenge to create an economically just society. A fairer society gives much protection and takes care of the interests of the common people. The common people are not envious of the rich, so long as the rich earn their wealth fairly, but it is their undeniable right to demand their leaders a fair share of the nation's wealth. In smaller towns, there is just no adequate public transport for the people to send their children to school or visit the land office and the hospitals. And economically just government will have more allocations for public transport and healthcare. The economy needs an overhaul. There are just too many approvals from committees and regulations to comply. We are over-regulated and having too many agencies and committees to deal with. Overall, it may be said if we are in the same minded and not change how our community works, the vision to be modern country will never be achieved. We will need visionary leaders to move the people to accept we impossible to possible. They are unique because they are capable of changing the minds, habits, and behavior of their people. And Malaysia itself should realize to achieve something, we will need good cooperation with the leader and not just waiting to be given everything. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you to Cik ADIBA Binti Abdul Hamid for your good response and for your explanation about our topic for today. So we can conclude that there are many factors that government have to face to achieve this vision of 2020. Furthermore, for this time, we should live with new norms of lifestyles due to COVID-19 pandemic. However, I believe that Malaysia still have the chance and hope to continue to grow and develop our country in the future. So that's all from us. Thank you.